car to get him to therapy on time. It's no small task between the doctors and the diagnosis, but nothing can disable this love. This is my big brother, my hero. He's part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. See, there's no time for tired. This starts again tomorrow. He'll be waiting for me. I wake up for him. I know he needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community, or call 877-333-5885. Caregiving Resource Center. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do. Oh, tell the world I see with an emoji to stop the bullies.
Know someone who's being bullied online? Send the witness emoji. It looks like an eye in a speech bubble, and it's in the symbol section near the clocks in your phone. You'll let the world know it isn't cool, and you'll let your friend know you care. Learn more about the witness emoji at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. Feedthepig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard. So you don't need to mooch off your friends.
You gonna finish that grape?
You mean the one in my mouth?
You don't need to stop buying the necessities.
What you're smelling is a natural musk.
Ew.
You don't need to be a medical test subject.
How do you feel?
Mostly okay. Sometimes, though.
You don't need to get a second job as a stuntman.
We need a new stuntman. Let's break for lunch.
You just need an internet connection. Don't get left behind. Start your personal savings plan with the tips and tools on feedthepig.org. That way, you don't need to sell your soul to the devil.
$15 is the best I can do.
All right, deal.
Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
When is the best time to talk to your family about staying in touch during a disaster? When floodwaters reach your door? When wildfires are engulfing the edge of your neighborhood? Or an earthquake is destroying buildings? When a tornado is tearing through town? Or a hurricane strikes? Or is the best time perhaps today? During a disaster, you may not be able to stay in touch with your family or friends as easily as you think. And it's not always as simple as using your cell phone. That's why now is the time to take action. Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Cause that's the bottom line. Cause Stone Cold said so. Everybody dies.
Because I'm better than you, and you know it. Woo! Yes, sir! What the rock is cooking?
Now, welcome to Off the Mats with Alex Lowe's, Josh Silverberg, and Lyle Gillen.
Wow. That felt like an eternity driving home, over 2 hours.
Where do you work now?
I love my new job. I do. I love it a lot. Like it's great. But I mean, and I love coming home earlier, but it's like, wow. And then Lyle called me today because he forgot I don't have off Fridays anymore. And he was like, oh crap, called you. My bad. Forgot. I didn't even respond because I had 3 straight classes in a row. I don't even think did I even respond to you? I don't even think I did. My bad.
No.
So, sorry about
How
that.
dare you? How dare you?
Yeah, please. So, anyway, take a breather. We're going to reset. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the only wrestling talk show here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network, and we are now on bodyslam.net. This is Off the Mat. I'm Josh Silverberg. Alex Slows is out this week. He will be back next week. I got one half of my crew here. That's Mr. Lyle Gillen. How you doing, sir?
I am doing wonderful, and let's correct that statement. I am your crew, sir. I am the crew. I was your OG crew.
Yes, that's fair. I mean, Alex.
I am your crew.
I mean, Alex did create the show, so that was like, that's kind of big.
He created it for you and I, okay?
What do you say?
He created it as a gift to you and I.
I mean, you came on a few months later.
Hey. Shush.
Okay, I'm sorry. And by the way, before we end the show today, we're obviously Super Bowl weekend. We have to give Super Bowl predictions. It's mandated. We have to. Everybody's doing it, so we're going to do that before the end of the show. If you are gambling this weekend, please bet responsibly. I know I will be, but I'm going to do it responsibly. So we will have those predictions on before the show because everybody and their mother is going to be watching the Super Bowl and so on and so forth. It should be a great game. I'm excited about it. Rooting hard for the Bengals. I think everybody in America is pretty much.
I'm stuck. I really want Stafford to get a Super Bowl, but at the same time, I really want the Bengals to win. I'm okay with either one. Who do I think will win? I think the Rams are going to win. But who do I want to win? I want the Bengals to win. I'm rooting for the Bengals because I want Sean Ross Sapp to go and see his team win the Super Bowl, and I think that would be an awesome thing. But I think the Rams will win.
I just love Joe Burrow, man. I love Joe B. Joe Cool.
I do too.
I love Burrow.
After everything Stafford went through in Detroit, he deserves a Super Bowl.
That's fine. But I love Joe Burrow. And I think this Bengals story is a great story. It's an amazing story.
It is, yes.
It's an unbelievable story. And it's amazing how, and like I said, we'll get to it before the end of the show, but I love the fact that for any NFL team, obviously, we're both Jet fans, that feel...
Don't remind me.
That feel like things are impossible. The Cincinnati Bengals turned it around in literally a year. Where Zach Taylor was threatening to be fired. And everybody wanted him out.
And Brian Flores was paid to lose games.
Yeah.
But he didn't take it.
God almighty. If Stephen Ross is still the owner of the Dolphins before the season, the whole NFL is a sham.
That was bad. That was really bad.
You don't even have to get me started. Mike McDaniels was what a weird press conference that was. But we'll get to all that a little bit later before the end of the show. And, of course, don't forget, tune into Weapons Hot. That's going to be coming up right after us here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. CJ, Kevin Jackson, and JJ, Jimmy Jardine, the three of them are going to be, I'm sure, breaking down the Super Bowl, all that stuff. So definitely tune in for that. But we'll give our predictions. Lyle somewhat gave it, but we'll do score. And we did that before. We have to. It's Super Bowl weekend. It's the biggest event. So we'll get to all that. But there's a lot to get to with that. I know we're on later tonight. Next week we'll be on at 5:30. Alex will be back. So Alex and Lyle, barring my traffic situation, we'll start the show. We'll start the show, and then I will come into the show whenever I get here and everything like that. But Alex and Lyle will start it. They'll both be home, everything like that, and then I will get into the show whenever I get back. But there's a lot to talk about. We're going to talk AEW. We're going to talk Nick Gage and the contract. There's a lot to digest in such little time. But I know Lyle wasn't here last week. Alex and I, we both gave our opinions on the Royal Rumble. And if you didn't hear the Royal Rumble opinions, we'll get to it. But before I let Lyle do that and take the floor, what you do is for the Worldwide Sports Radio Network is you download our app. Type in WWSRN on the Apple Store if you have an iPhone. If you have an Android, you go to the Google Play Store. You type in Worldwide Sports. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch. We're all over the place. You can check out our show articles, from different writers, our show schedules, all the things that you might have missed from the show, whether it's a clip or you want to rewatch an episode, you can certainly do that on there too. If you're driving, listen to the audio feed. You can also hear it on your smart speakers as well. we're all over the place. WorldWideSportsRadioNetwork.com and on BodySlam.net, who we're now new partners with. So check them out as well. They do great stuff with the sources, Cassidy Haynes, and everything like that. And of course, Errol Marks. Both of them have made this great partnership, and we're both so excited. And all three of us here at Off the Mat, and we think for both sides are going to do really well when it comes to this partnership, and we're both very, very excited about it. We can't wait. So I wanted to get that in, of course, and then also got our website, the Off the Mat Wrestling website, which is on our Twitter page as well. You could check out everything on there, from pay-per-view schedules to past clips to guest appearances that are coming up. We're going to get to we'll get to all that. Alex does a great job with that. He works really hard with it, so we will continue that. But I will let Lyle have the floor now. After, if you didn't hear my comment last week about the Royal Rumble, I called it the worst Royal Rumble I've ever watched, and I've seen a lot of bad Rumbles. That was the worst. Go back and listen to it. Speedy tagged it the other day. It's on the World Wide Sports Radio Network app. Never did that. And Alex called it awful. I gave it maybe a 2 or 3 out of 10. And that's what I gave it. I was brutally honest with it.
Okay. The pay-per-view itself on Cage Match, last time I looked, was rated at a 2.5 out of 10, which is really bad. But no, let's get to my opinions on this show. I thought it was dog crap. I thought it was horrible. It was awful. Now, it started off good. The first match, it was going great. I loved what they did with Seth when he came out in the Shield entrance and the Shield attire, played some head games on Roman. I loved that. And then they had the DQ finish. And then from there, it just kept going more and more downhill. And we all knew Roman was going to walk away with time. He wasn't losing to Seth. But the way that he won, it's just, I think everybody's very drained when it comes to DQ finishes in WWE. Every single pay-per-view has multiple matches that are DQ. And I don't know if it's because in other promotions, you rarely see that, especially in big shows like a pay-per-view, major pay-per-view. You don't see it as often. It's not done as often because the pay-per-view is meant to end storylines. Or move on, and they don't do that as often. Now, following that on the Women's Royal Rumble, I thought that was terrible. Mainly my problems with that match were the issues with booking. I didn't really have much of an issue with other aspects of it, but certain eliminations just really didn't make sense to me. My two biggest problems with that entire match was, one, why did Liv Morgan get eliminated by the Bella Twins? I thought that was horrible. And the other thing, which I can't understand, and I'm not going to be able to grasp my head around it, is in what logical sense would Bianca Belair try and save Ronda Rousey? Why? That doesn't make sense to me at all. Why would you, when you're one of the final 3 women in the Rumble, why would you try and stop somebody who Ronda Rousey, who's one of the best in their division, from getting eliminated? Wouldn't you want that? Let her get eliminated, and then you're one of the final 2. I just can't grasp the logic behind that decision. I thought that was terrible, and that left a bad taste in my mouth, even going to the finish, just because I thought it was stupid. And then for commentary to point it out, I thought that was even stupider. I thought, honestly, I forgot about the Edge match completely. I didn't know that was going to happen. I didn't even care about it. I thought it was very mediocre. I think that could have been one of the worst matches Edge has had since he came back. The Brock Lesnar match, I thought was awful. And let's be honest, it's not a dream match. That's not a dream match, and it never will be. It's 2 guys that have potential to put on a good match. That's it. But you have guys like Danielson and Okada, that's a dream match. You have AJ Styles and Omega, that's a dream match. Not Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley. That's not. And that's how they kind of booked it. Everyone hyped it up themselves to become something bigger than it ever was going to be. And that's what happened. It ended up being crap. It was 5-6 minutes of just suplexes from both of them. It was bad. And I think I even said that to you, Josh, before the match. I hope this isn't just going to be like a quick 7-minute bullcrap match. And that's exactly what it ended up being. And I thought the finish was really bad too. It's the same thing from earlier. Everyone's just tired of having these lousy finishes on pay-per-views during major matches. It's not what should be happening. It's not what everyone wants to see. And the men's rumble, it was just god-awful. Again, with booking issues, and we later found out everything was Shane McMahon. You have all the issues on why was the New Day coming out not together and not doing anything in the ring. There were so many instances the guys are coming out there not lined up with other people. We found out that Randy Orton had his number switched with it Shane?
Yes.
And it was supposed to have Orton and Riddle out there for a little bit, and then Randy was going to get eliminated after Shane came out, and it happened all weird. It was just really bad. It felt like on TV, the entire show was all over the place, and it wasn't good. It wasn't organized. It felt like they had no end game plan, and now we find out that's true. That the only plan they had ahead of time was Brock Lesnar versus Roman, and then Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte was actually something that they just came up with a week before the pay-per-view. That's what the show felt like. They don't even know where they're going to go with the WWE Championship right now. It's just, the company is not in a good way. And I don't mean that from a business standpoint. Because from a business standpoint, they're doing phenomenal. And that's why their product is so horrible, because they don't care. The only thing they care about is what can make them more money. And they're not a wrestling company anymore. They are now an entertainment company. Think about everything they do. Movies. They do the TV shows on E. They do all these different things. They are a entertainment company that happens to also do wrestling. And that is why they don't care about the product. Think about when it was good. It was before they had all the movies they were doing, before they were publicly traded, before they focused, which you can't blame them. They're a company. Every company wants to make money. But you should still care about your product. And the product they're putting out there in the wrestling category is garbage. And they still make money on everything else. And most of it is from Saudi Arabia. And the Peacock deal, which, by the way, Peacock lost billions of dollars this year. I wonder where they lost that money to. Maybe giving it to the WWE. Because they don't really have any good amount of subscribers. If they did, they wouldn't have lost billions of dollars. I think they're doing a great job making money, but I think that's proof as why they don't care about the product and they don't have a direction to go in, and why the Rumble was so bad is just they don't care anymore.
So can I rebuttal now on just one of the topics on one of the things you said?
I know what you're gonna say. Yeah.
Okay. And we talked about this, you and I, on Twitter, and it was just Lyle and I. If you know us, we just have we don't, there's no nastiness. It's just we have conversations because we're both wrestling fans. And to me, we have one of our new bosses, Cassidy Haynes, came on 2 weeks ago, and he basically said if they let Brock and Bobby. Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago because last week you weren't on.
Yes, you're right.
Yes. If Brock and Bobby were allowed to do what they can do instead of just suplexes, the match would be a good match. Unfortunately, they don't have the control of that. As far as it being a dream match, I mean, look, yes, Kenny Omega AJ Styles, Kazuchika Okada, Bryan Danielson. You can keep rambling off the list. You can name a bunch. Yes, those are dream matches. But with what you have on your roster and with the credibility and the background that these two have combined, you look at the historics of what these two have, the accolades that these two have in their careers. Forget even in WWE, outside of WWE. That does set up for it's considered a lot of in mine, and including mine, it was a dream match of mine. I've wanted this match for years.
And like I said, I think people overhyped it for themselves. I don't think it was ever on that list of dream
matches too. To me, that was one of, now when you said the what'd you call me on the simple minded or whatever it was, or something minded.
I didn't call you that.
Yeah.
You saw it and took it that way.
Yes. Well, I mean, because I was one of those people that you were referencing, and to me, I don't think that's fair to say something of that nature when you look at the two of them in their background combined. Listen, Lashley and Brock combined have done more outside of wrestling than any of the guys we've mentioned have been able to accomplish outside of wrestling. I mean, those guys, Brock Lesnar was the best UFC fighter on the planet.
What are they doing, though?
What'd you say?
What are they doing? That match, what are they doing? Are they playing football? They're doing UFC? What are they doing?
Well, again, that leads back to the creativity of the guy in charge. Tony Khan lets these guys.
No, that's not my question. What are they doing? You said that they were doing some most achievements out of people outside of wrestling. Okay, but what are they doing?
What do you mean? UFC?
No. What were they doing when they faced each other?
Oh, they were wrestling.
Exactly. So none of that other stuff matters. It matters better for
I understand that, but at the same time, how can somebody have a voice and explain what they want to do when the guy that's in charge doesn't let them do what they want to do? I mean, you're talking about a guy that had.
It's like that in work too. Are there certain lessons you want to do that you probably can't do because you have to do your curriculum?
Here's the deal. You're talking about a guy that had AJ Styles for Shinsuke Nakamura at WrestleMania, and it was an absolute dud. That's a reference. Because you look at the whole thing, and again, Cassidy Haynes came on our show 2 weeks ago, and he said
he's not wrong. I'm just
how can these guys do what they want to do if they are not able to be allowed to do it because they're handcuffed?
No, yeah, well, we all know they're handcuffed. He's not wrong. But knowing that information and what we expect, wouldn't that prove that all it would ever be is suplexes?
Of course.
And then a couple moves. It's not going to be anything good. Like we all know that. Like you kind of admitted it was never going to happen. So
but that doesn't mean it can't
never be a dream match.
Mine's a dream match. That to me, I don't think that's fair. Because in any other promotion, that's a dream match. I mean, if they wrestled in UFC, the two of them, that'd be freaking awesome. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just they're unfortunately they're handcuffed. It was a match I've wanted to see for years. There are very few guys in the business of wrestling that want to really work with Brock. They don't really want to work with him because they're afraid they're going to get pushed over, and two, they're afraid to fight him in the ring because of things that have happened in the past with unsafe stuff. Bobby Lashley had the balls to say, I went to Vince McMahon and said, I want to fight Brock Lesnar. God bless him for saying that, by the way, because somebody had the kahunas to tell Vince, I want to fight Brock. Because there ain't many people that want to do that. I can tell you that. Okay? And that's where I give Bobby Lashley a ton of credit. Because the thing about Bobby is he has the same background as Brock. And they should have made it more of a UFC style match. Unfortunately, Vince McMahon did not do that. That's the way they should have done it. It should have been more UFC style, ground and pound.
Like what AEW did with Hager? Is that what you mean?
Somewhat, a little bit.
So like in the steel cage and everything?
That would have been better. Well, the difference is because Wardlow is not MMA fighter, so it was kind of tougher. You have two guys that can legitimately do a MMA fight, that know the background and style of how it is ran.
I don't
carry the match.
I don't think they
But Vince would never do that.
No, I don't think it would ever work in a shoot way. That's the thing.
Not that. And those matches were good matches. And Owen Hart didn't have any MMA background, and those matches were good matches. So to me, it's worked in the past. I think the thing about the Hager match was Wardlow doesn't have a background in MMA, so it's kind of it's harder. It's more challenging. Bobby was really good in MMA, and Brock was the best on the planet at one point.
How many matches did he actually have? I think he only had a handful.
Let me tell you something. He won a championship.
I know he did. But...
He won in his third match. He won the UFC Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah,
which is as impressive as it gets. Listen, go ask CM Punk how hard it is to be in MMA. He got his ass kicked in his first fight. He quit.
No, he quit. He didn't quit. I think Dana White kind of told him he wasn't going to fight again.
Well, can you blame him after that first match?
The second match they did it to him. He had two matches.
It didn't go well. Regardless,
I think now technically he actually did get a win. I think one of them got overturned for doping.
Oh, yeah, but then that's a sham win then.
Hey, a win's a win.
Oh my god. Okay. I'm just saying, when I look at it, they had an opportunity to really, and by the way, really quick, with Brock, I do like the way. Now I understand the whole disqualification thing is not ideal. It stinks. I mean, I'm all right. I mean, like, I'm looking at Brock's career. I mean, he beat Randy Couture in 3 minutes, and he knocked out Frank Mir. Those are two legends in UFC. He knocked out Randy Couture in his fourth fight ever in UFC. And then he beat the crap out of Frank Mir. I mean, like, and Bobby was no slouch in MMA with Bellator and stuff. So, like, this was an opportunity that I really... Oh, God, Snug's talking. Oh, jeez. He wrote, oh, my God, it's Lyle. Well, what are you describing as never-ending give and take of management versus labor? Management has to allow some leeway, but also guardrails in place. Brock Lesnar was popular last year on Friday night in WWE and Saturday night in UFC. Not enough or too much doping. Yeah, but it was a 50-year-old Randy Couture. That's fine. Snug. Doesn't matter. Point being, in his third ever fight, or fourth ever fight, he beat Randy Couture, and he beat the crap out of Frank Mir. He did. That's why I used to play the UFC video games on, like, PlayStation. I used to always beat Brock. I used to just throw punches all the time, and I used to always knock people out. Because they gave Brock like a power of like a 9 or a 10 in the game. But it was just something that they really, so, and everything like that. But to me, I always find it that when I look at the way the match went, it should have been better. But, we'll see. But the Royal Rumble was a dud. I mean, there was a lot to digest in about 5 minutes. I mean, there was literally a 5-minute span of, like, you had Jay White. No, you had the Penta thing, and you had Jay White, which I missed because, when you have a son that's crying, it's a priority.
Okay, so what happened was I texted you something crazy. I think I said, holy shit, I'm hard as fuck. And then you go, for what, Keith Lee? I'm like, no, Jay White. Did you really miss that?
I did.
And you did.
I had to rewind it. Which I'm still trying to figure out. He's definitely not full time with AEW. That's a given. He's not. I mean, he's New Japan. Not. He's New Japan. But again, and even Tony Khan had to, Tony Khan had to reinforce that he actually Tony screwed up too. He was like, I said the forbidden door thing on Friday, but I didn't get the commitment from Jay White till Sunday. So I didn't even know what my words were, which is hysterical. But to me, I found it interesting that, when it comes to the whole situation, with Jay White, it's going to be interesting. It really seems like Adam Cole is, because the thing is, Kyle O'Reilly had a baby, so they're going to be out for a little bit, which kind of waters down the rivalry a little bit with the Young Bucks. But they'll come back because you have to remember it hasn't aligned well because Matt Jackson had COVID, but it will get there at some point. They haven't aligned yet. Their scheduling and everything hasn't aligned yet. It happens. That's the way.
So where do you think that ends up going? Because I think it's going to be, I think they can do Blood and Guts with Kenny and the Bucks versus Cole, O'Reilly Fish versus God and Jay White.
That would be ideal booking. I mean, God is in Impact right now.
But Tama Tonga said he has no contract.
Yeah.
So they could bring them in.
Sure. I mean, absolutely. I mean, Dave Meltzer did report that he was hoping Omega would be back by Revolution, but now it's not looking that way.
And Double or Nothing with that match, that would be insane.
That would be awesome. I think that would be as ideal booking as you could possibly get. To me, I mean, this was the best Dynamite in a while.
It was.
That I thoroughly enjoyed. Because the last few,
but I want to criticize them in one aspect. What were you most interested in tuning in for?
What'd you say?
What were you most interested in tuning in for?
I mean, it's just like it's so many.
No, what was the one thing majority of people
I know
excited to tune in for?
It was the Forbidden Door thing, but
but
that was the funny thing.
That for the most part overtook the fact that they had a world title match on that show.
Yes, but what's funny
that is not good. They should not have done that. They should have had that match separately.
So you think it took steam away?
I think that show should have been billed to be about that main event.
And save it for next week, the Forbidden Door thing.
Yeah.
That's fair. No, I agree with you. And what's funny is, and again, as I said, Tony Khan, he got the Forbidden Door thing wrong. He didn't have the commitment from Jay till Sunday, and he said on Friday that he was going to have the guy from the Forbidden Door go through. Can you imagine if Jay White didn't come through? The whole thing happened.
Like I assumed it was a slip up from the beginning because it didn't make sense. But yeah, it was a fantastic Dynamite.
It's the best one in a long time.
Kyle O'Reilly in an interview, I think it was on Oral Sessions, he said that towards the end in WWE they wanted to focus on guys being not pro wrestlers, and he told them, well, I am a pro wrestler and I want to be a pro wrestler. And I think that is the best way to describe the differences between not only NXT 2.0 and AEW, but AEW and all of WWE. People in the WWE umbrella are made to be entertainers, not a professional wrestler. Because like Cassidy said a couple weeks ago, like you brought it up, they can't do what they want to do. And then you go look at AEW, they're given the freedom to be a professional wrestler. They're actually called what they actually are there. It's a big difference between two companies, and I like that quote from him.
And to me, what I felt was really, what really hooked me this week, and we'll get to the world title match, and we'll get to the, we talked about Jay White a little bit. Man, Keith Lee looked freaking good.
He did.
I mean, and when WWE released him, I said they're making a massive mistake. Massive mistake. Because to me, he has all the talent in the world, And if you look at his old promos that he used to do in the indie scene, they were really good. The problem is they made him in WWE read off a script, where his old promos on the indie scene were more natural.
Yes. That's the thing with everybody there. You could go look at a lot of guys who went from WWE to another company, and their promos got better because, like, AEW does, they do bulletins. You gotta say X, Y, and Z, but they don't give them an entire script to do.
He looked happy too, although I am gonna miss his old theme in NXT. That theme was sick.
That was very, very, very good.
That was
very good.
Awesome theme. That nothing's gonna top that theme. I mean, it was, to me, I think he fits AEW perfectly because what he also is a nice veteran presence for big guys that have agility, ability, no matter what the size is of the wrestler. And by the way, the girl that MJF I think was making out with
was his girlfriend. Yeah,
that was his girlriend. So yeah, that makes all sense.
That would be a lawsuit in 2022 if that was just some random girl.
But
it was on his head, or some girl really wanted to get some, and she just hopped right on it.
It
was one of the two.
To me, I think Revolution is where the Punk MJF thing is gonna culminate. It's going to happen there. I think that's where you're going to see Wardlow turn on MJF at that point, and that's going to start a feud.
Honestly, Wardlow should have been his partner.
You know what though? I think they want to save it for the pay-per-view.
I think that's right, but
and again,
that would have been great if it was.
We're used to AEW letting things, as they say, simmer, letting it get to the point where, okay, now we know when to let it pop off. You know what I'm saying? Like, let it happen, let the rivalry go, and we will then get to where, we know it's the right place and time for that certain thing to happen.
Yeah.
Let's be real here. Adam Cole came out at All Out. And you're thinking, that's it. That's a surprise. Boom, done, game over. Danielson's not debuting tonight. That's a buzzkill. And then Danielson comes out like 5 minutes later.
I thought
and it's like, that's perfect. Like, that's perfect. Like, you do it that way because everybody was expecting, okay, Adam Cole's here. He's going to turn on, he's going to go against Omega because of what happened on BTE and the Bucks. And then 2 minutes later, Danielson comes out and just takes all the steam away from Adam Cole. Like, that was, to me, genius. And that's great booking. So when you do it that way, I think it works. But I do want to get to, and I know you want to bring something up in a few minutes, so we'll get to your point. I want to talk about the World Championship match. And Alex did text us something very interesting, that an average of Hangman's last 4 matches is an average star rating of 4.9, which is very accurate in my eyes from what I've seen from him in the ring and his matches from Omega to Danielson.
He needs to be on the show more often, though. That's one thing I haven't liked is he hasn't been on a consistent amount.
So it's like everything like that. So to me, in my eyes, the Arch. This was a great match.
I thought it was lovely.
I didn't like the, obviously, Texas Death match in Atlantic City doesn't make any sense, but neither here nor there.
I think it does.
Why?
Hey, they happen all the time in Atlantic City.
What, Texas death matches?
Well, just a death match.
Well, death match. There you go. Yeah, but I don't think they could. I mean,
same stuff.
Yeah, I mean, but it was
just Texas in front of it.
And clearly, you're seeing at Revolution, Adam Cole is going to be the next contender for Hangman, for the AEW Heavyweight Championship. And I do think Hangman needs to definitely be wrestling more weekly. Not for the title, because even how many times did Kenny Omega wrestle on weekly television, but not defend the title? Always. He always did. He did
wrestled in a lot of
tag
matches, yes.
Which is fine. He's got the Dark Order and those guys, but
they haven't been on very much either.
That's the problem with this stacked roster now. Is guys
I don't think it's a problem
getting fizzled away.
Be there with him. I think there's something else going on. I think they haven't really showed their colors or showed their cards with where they're going. I think they're gonna try and use it as a way for them to try and lure him back into the elite. Because hey, where'd they go? Where are they now?
Yeah.
More of your life. We have been your friends. Come back. I think that's
but I think obviously Cole and Hangman that will be the match of Revolution. It'll be a great match. I will say this that belt looks like a triple XL on Adam Cole when he held it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean that thing. I mean it didn't look like it. It honestly didn't look right with him holding it. Like they need to get a smaller size for him. It just didn't. It looked. I'm not saying it to be funny. I'm saying it looked weird. Like it looked like it was double the size of him when he held it. It really did. And I'm like, damn, that belt is huge on him. That's like, it's like me trying on a triple third.
He's not 6 foot like how they built him to be in WWE.
I mean, but it was like, I saw that too. I was like, wow. I mean, like,
I feel like that was a running joke. That
it was, but at the same time,
in WWE, that was a running joke. Like that was a rib. They were ribbing him by saying that he was 6 foot.
But I mean, like, when you look at it, and it's so true though. Like, not that he's going to win the title because I don't think he's going. I think it's going to be MJF that eventually beats Hangman for the belt. Like,
no, I think it's gonna be Adam Cole.
If it's Cole, it's Cole. I mean, but if
Cole
wins the belt, then you got to get
already. It's a good number.
Yeah, but he hasn't. Yeah, but they don't like to do quick changes with the title.
They don't, but Cole's the right move in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, Hangman's doing a killer job right now, though. So to me, I think he's doing really well.
I think he's been really solid.
I love Hangman. He's one of my favorites. I love Hangman.
Me
Page.
too.
He's earned this. But I know you said you wanted to bring something up, so go.
Yes. Okay. So, drum roll, please. Okay. So,
didn't even give me a chance to do a drum roll. Just like you texted me and then didn't even give me a chance to answer the text. You called me right away. But go on.
On the Pat McAfee show, Seth Rollins was asked the question what he thinks what is his Mount Rushmore.
Love Pat McAfee.
And he asked us the question. Now, which one? Top
I heard him say it.
Or top talent. So I want your opinion. I want your top 4 drawers and top 4 talent. And I'll give mine.
As in, like, talent today?
No, in general. It's a Mount Rushmore. It's forever.
All right, of all time. Bias in me, I'd put Sting up there.
No, okay, no. I want to clarify. I want both of your, not just top talent. I want Mount Rushmore for top talent and Mount Rushmore for your best drawers.
Like the best wrestlers that can
draw money.
Okay, phrase it for me. You go yours first.
No. I want you going first.
No, because I need to understand the question. That's the thing. I'm trying to understand the question.
The people, your Mount Rushmore for wrestlers who drew the most money, and your Mount Rushmore for top talent in ring.
So it's got to be a combined.
No, separate.
Okay.
Same way Seth Rollins did it.
I'd say Ric Flair.
For which one?
Probably I would say for drawing.
Okay.
I'd say Ric Flair for drawing. The Rock for drawing, 100%. Hulk Hogan definitely for drawing. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, it was Hulkamania in the United States, for heaven's sake. Oh, man. The fourth one's hard. Because there's so many, like, from the history books, you know what I'm saying? It's like you can't even just do from, like...
I think it's obvious, but if you think it's someone else, that's your opinion.
I could say drawing-wise, I get John Cena, I guess, could be one. I think he's just so mainstream right now. Like, everybody knows who he is. He went the Rock route. He went to Hollywood. Yeah. And everybody now knows who he is. Like,
okay, I'll give my top 4 of best drawers, my Mount Rushmore. Very close to yours. Rock, Hogan, Cena, and Stone Cold.
Okay.
I think that now, as good as Ric Flair was, I don't think NWA was getting as much buzz as WWF did in his time.
Oh no, but he was Mr. Wrestling though.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
And the thing is, at the time, I don't want to interrupt you, but the territories too.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
he was 100% Mr. Money, Mr. Wrestling. But
yeah,
I don't know.
You
I
could
think
say Bruno Sammartino too if you want to. You could say Bruno
you can,
Sammartino.
yeah, you can put him in.
Yeah.
So I want to go with your top four. This is where it's gonna get fun.
The top four. So my personal top four talent all time.
Yeah. You're about Rushmore for it. Yes.
So my four favorites of all time.
Who you Mount Rushmore? It's who you think are the best?
Oh man, I would say Bret Hart is one. Bret Hart dealt with a lot of crap. That's for sure, literally. See, I want to be so biased and say Sting, but I know it's like, I mean, Sting did everything for WCW. Like, he was WCW through the good and the bad. Like, that's just the facts. He was. Goldberg. No, I'm just kidding. Stop. I think we could go until a little past 650, though. They don't go until 655, the guys.
Sure, that's fine. Keep going.
God, man, you threw me a curveball.
Yeah, no, I did on purpose. I didn't want to say anything.
I mean, like, I just got home from work. I come and sit down and think, hey, what's your Mount Rushmore of wrestling? Oh, God. Oh, man. If I put Sting on there, it's going to be silly because it's just not factually true.
Whatever your Mount Rushmore is for top four talent. Your Mount Rushmore. Well, that's what Mount Rushmore is. Who you think are?
So you know what? I'm going to do. I'm going to separate. I'm going to separate my favorites from the most talented that I've ever seen. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to separate the two categories. I'm going to, because I have my favorites and then there's talented. So one, I would say Bret Hart.
Okay. Easily.
I mean, he has the greatest opening match of all time in WrestleMania history with his brother Owen. I mean, that's bar none. Oh, Snug, that's a good one. I like Dean Malenko. Dean Malenko's a good one. Wow, that's a good one. It's a really good one. Number two, I would say Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho, talent-wise, to me, even at the older age that he looks like a guy that's had like 50 beers under his belly, still could go. Now he's on a cooking show, as funny as that is. AJ Styles. AJ Styles to me is somebody that I've watched I watched AJ Styles when he was in TNA. That's how far back I go with him. I mean, who did I say so far? Hart. I said AJ. Jericho.
Yeah, one more.
No, Snug, not Mick Foley. Stop, idiot. I love Mick though, but no. It's hard. Yeah. I mean, I guess. You know what? I got it. I was going to say Shawn Michaels. But I'm not going to deny how uber talented Kurt Angle was. I mean, Kurt Angle was so freaking good. Because Kurt Angle was able to take pro wrestling and turn it into entertainment wrestling. And doing that is extraordinarily hard to do. So to me, those would be. And Mr. Perfect was good too. I like Mr. Perfect.
Okay. So there is no Mount Rushmore for top four talent from bell to bell that cannot have Kenta Kobashi and Misawa on that list. They're the two best of all time.
Oh, brother, did you look this up beforehand before the show?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And this is where it gets tricky for me.
You could say Antonio Inoki too.
I would put him in more in the draw category.
That's fair.
Giant
Baba, I love that snug.
I would say Okada.
Okay.
And this is where it gets hard because there's two people that I cannot decide which one would go in 4. And I'm gonna go based off the cage match rankings as a list of proof for.
See, that's crap. I didn't even have a source. I just named them off the top of my head right when I got home from work. That's bogus.
Well, I look at it all the time. I look at the list all the time. He has like, I think he has the most of his matches that are on there on the first page. It's Kenny Omega. Like, people want to sit there, cry, bitch, and moan about Kenny Omega. Like, either you're intelligent and know how good he is, or you're a moron and think he's.
I wanted to say Kenny, but the thing was, I didn't want to be too mainstream. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think Kenny Omega's mainstream. The people that hate him don't even watch him. They just hate him because they want to suck up to Jim Cornette.
I didn't want to see Kenny because
that's my opinion. That could be people that do watch him and don't like him. I'm saying the majority of people who hate Kenny Omega don't actually watch Kenny Omega.
I mean, I love watching Bret Hart when I was younger, man. I mean,
well,
Bret Hart...
think about it this way. Think about what Kenny Omega did with Danielson, and he had a bad shoulder.
Snug goes, well, I'm a moron, and I still know Kenny Omega is good. Oh, God. Really quick.
At least he admits it.
I mean, so before we go, I know GCW had the exclusive contract that we want to talk about a little bit.
Yes, that's
shut
the
up,
first
Snug,
ever.
with the Tonka. Get a grip on life, would you?
Their first ever exclusive contract, and it's also, Brett said, probably their last.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he is GCW.
Yes.
He is. I mean, they were going to literally have their biggest show in the history of the company, and he almost didn't show up. You know? That's the thing. Like, if you even, like, if you've read about it on all the different sources online, like, that was the thing. You know? So, no, it's not about that. It's other sources that were online. It's not about that. Because Gage had an interview. Nick Gage actually had an interview about it. Like, he actually said, why won't you be on this? And he actually said in an interview, you have to ask the man in charge. So that was, no, it's not about that, though. Don't worry. I got this. Relax, bossy pants. All right?
Hold on, can I change my name on here?
What, to dumbass? I mean, you certainly can.
Wait, no cursing. To bossy pants.
Yeah. Listen,
I don't know if I can do it.
It's not a good quality. Leave it at that. All right, we're at the end of the show. I don't know if we were on Body Slam. I know this episode will air on Body Slam, I'm sure. I don't know if we were on live or not. If not, we'll definitely be, like I said, so next week, Alex will be back. Alex and Lyle are going to start at 5:30. And I will make my way in whenever I possibly can get in to the show. And everything like that, and then the following week I will be here for the full 5:30 to 7. So I will be on because we're off for a week for President's Week. Love being a teacher. We're off for President's Week. We get the whole week off.
I get the whole summer off.
Yeah, we get that too. It's great.
Wait, where's your new job?
Queens, though. Still in Queens.
Oh, you're actually at like an actual school now?
DOE. Yeah.
Why did you want to work in the city again? Why don't you try and get something on Long Island?
I don't think you realize how hard it is to get a teaching job on Long Island.
I'm not a teacher, so I wouldn't know.
It's a nightmare.
Oh.
When I try to apply and there's 400 other applicants that are applying for the same job that have 15 years of experience in the city, I'm out. Sorry, you've only been to DOE for a month. You're out. You're out. So it's like, But let's get to our finish real quick, then we'll get our prediction for the Super Bowl. Go for it, Lyle.
Surely. I actually totally forgot about a finishing move. I'm gonna say my finishing move is that I really cannot wait to see And now I'm just bullshitting because he caught me off guard too about what my finishing move is, because I thought we were going to do the other thing that we just did in place of that. You go first. What do you think?
Okay. My finishing move is pretty much about where wrestling is today as a whole. And to me, I think it's just expanding more and more every single day. You're hearing new different things. GCW is slowly becoming that big powerhouse promotion now. You're seeing every single week. And then if you saw an MLW, Alicia too became a heel, low blowing Max Hammerstone. So that was interesting. So to me, I mean, wrestling is just growing. It's a great time to be a fan, and yeah, go for it, Lyle.
Okay, I'm gonna call people out. I think now everyone has the right to, but I think if people are more excited about Keith Lee than Jay White, I think they're showing a little bit of bias and showing off that they might not watch New Japan. And I think there is absolutely no way you can watch both and like Keith Lee more. Jay White is just he's amazing.
I think people just want to see White wrestle.
I want to see White be there for a while, like the Good Brothers were. That's what I want to see, and I think it will happen. He doesn't want to go back to Japan right now with COVID and everything. I think he will leave eventually and come to AEW. They could just buy out his contract, like they did with Thunder Rosa. I don't think they will, but they could.
No, he's too big in Japan to leave. I don't think he wants that anyway.
But if it's like a couple years and you aren't going over there, like what's the point? But yeah, I don't see how people can like Keith Lee more than Jay White. Like I said, everyone has their right to their opinion. I can't see it. I think
quick score Super Bowl opinion. Quick score.
31-21 Rams.
I'm going to say I want the Bengals to win so badly. I really do. And I think they have a shot.
I want them to too. I think
you know what, and the thing is, at the same time, we thought they didn't have a shot against the Chiefs. They went to Kansas City down 21-3 and beat the Chiefs. As impressive as it gets.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go Cincinnati, and I'm gonna go Joe Cool. 31-28. McPherson hits the game-winning field goal. Right before the field goal, he's gonna tell Joe Burrow, just like he did in the division round, hey, we're going to the AFC Championship game. He's going to tell him, we're about to be Super Bowl champions. And he's going to kick the field goal. And that's how they win the game. And Joe Burrow is Joe Cool still. It's celebrating in Los Angeles like a madman, like a bat out of hell.
I thought for a second that you were going to repeat my same score.
Nope. 21-28. Bengals. I love it. I think Stafford's actually going to make a mistake at the end of the game. That's going to cost them. And that's why I think the Bengals are going to win. They are a turnover defensive machine right now. They have 9 turnovers in 3 games, the Bengals.
Once a lion, always a lion.
The Bengals in their last 3 playoff games, 9 turnovers from the defense. 9.
That's really good.
It's a lot. That's how they beat the Chiefs. They intercepted Mahomes. So, good. And I think they'll figure out a way to handle the defensive line. They did. I think Burrow will figure it out quickly, adjustments, everything like that. But that's it. That's our show. Thank you so much for tuning in every single Friday night. Enjoy SmackDown tonight. Enjoy Rampage tonight. Enjoy the Super Bowl on Sunday. We'll talk to you next Friday right here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network and BodySlam.net. Don't forget to download the WSRN app. Type in WSRN on an iPhone in the Apple Store and Android Google Play Store. Type in Worldwide Sports, worldwidesportsradio.com, and bodyslam.net. So for myself, for Speedy Petey, for Alex Lowe's, for Lyle Gillen, I'm Josh Silberg. Good night. Enjoy the Super Bowl this weekend. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the wrestling too. Kenny Omega, what do you have to say?
I must bid you adieu. So say with me now if you know it. Goodbye. And good night.
Thank you for listening to Off the Mat on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network, your source for all things wrestling and sports entertainment. It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.